Ah,
So whenever you guys are ready.
we'll just make sure that this is responsive here. Okay, cool. Right on. Yeah, I'm good.
All right. If you guys are good to go, I will pop out and let you guys take it away whenever.
Sounds good. Thanks. Adam, feel free to keep playing with the overlays as we go through.
Yeah, are you messing with cameras?
Nope, I'm not touching them. It's all you.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? The race starts in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Hello and welcome. It is Tuesday night. That means it's time for the Midwest Motorsports Road Series to get underway. Thanks to everybody for joining us on this first endurance race of the season. We're going to go green for 100 minutes. And right now you can see on the circuit layout of Zolder, the 10-corner hosted of the Formula One Belgian Grand Prix 10 times. It's since moved to Spa. 2.8 miles, 2.6 depending on how you convert kilometers to miles. I'm James J, joined by Adam Sondag. GT3 cars are on the track already. And Adam, good to see you tonight. We're looking at the conditions, look great. What do you think we're going to see?
I think that we're going to see, I mean, we have an endurance race here, so survival is going to be the name of the game. It is not out of the question to see potentially one or two drivers get into some trouble with incident points and potential disqualification. It is difficult here, I think, as we watch now
David Stark
and Travis Rowe, I believe, go through this first chicane here. These are tempting to really ride hard, but if you get into them too hard, you will be backwards and you'll be around, and the rest of the field will be continuing onwards. So we might see some action.
25 cars on the track so far. We see mixed class once again, split qualifying. GT3s are on the track. Congratulations to the GT4 pole sitter, Landon Sprinkle. And the McLaren, Ron Cabilta's last season's champion and last week's winner of round one, are going to share the row one. And as the GT3 cars are completing their very first lap, we're joined by Chase Fincher, third place last week in the season opener. Chase, you're going to sit tonight out for family duty, but thanks a lot for joining us in the booth. GT3
Always.
going around for their first lap. What do you think we're going to see?
Lots of off tracks, potentially some disqualifications, just simply because it's Zolder and it's an endurance race. It's 40 more minutes of trying to keep clean. But honestly, I'm excited to see CJ. I know he's been running a lot of laps here, and just before the race went live, he had 5 laps in a row within almost 100th from each other. So his consistency here is very good. So if he can keep that up, keep the off tracks to a minimum, and stay out of trouble, I think he's going to be a contender here.
Good call. That was my choice from the cool down lap last night. CJ Barzak has been putting a lot of hosted sessions up, and it seems like he's really dialed in for this season. His enthusiasm is high for the competition, close competition. At the same time, Chase, you were able to come from last to third last week. with the multi-class racing, a little bit different track last week. What do you think the mixed class is going to provide us today?
This is a much more difficult track to pass on, especially as soon as they start getting mixed up in the GT4s. It's going to be very difficult. If you're defending and you can get a good exit out of corners, you're pretty much almost not going to get past. Last week at Motegi, I was just sizing people up, figuring out where I could get a good run. And then if I felt like I had a run, I would just stick my nose in. If I've got a bumper on if I got my front bumper on their rear bumper, they have to kind of give me some space, and then we'd battle from there. But here it's very difficult to do so. I think we will, if someone's getting held up, I think we will see some risky moves, and that's going to be very exciting to see. But the risky move here is a potential wall or potential hitting a curb and going flying, as we all have seen on Discord that people have been flying all week. So it will be, I'm excited. I wish I was racing, because this is going to be one to do, but I can't wait to watch it.
Me too. We're all excited. Here we are, in-car starting a lap. Chase, maybe we can stay with this in-car camera and talk us through the lap as we pass the pit lane straight.
Yeah, so he wants to trail brake down here, go as wide as humanly possible to keep your momentum up. You want to cut this corner height so you can beat a power very early. Just carry as much speed as you can out, all the way out wide. This is a very high-speed corner in the McLaren. You're down to third. Kick the car in, back to full power immediately. Here you want to brake right at or just after the 100 marker to be able to set yourself up for a good exit. You don't want to overcook the brakes here. You want to turn in and be full power. You got a little bit of launch there. He did a good job recovery though. Down to this winding left. Brake hard. You don't want to cut this first one too much and hit these, see, like that. Get a little off camber, because you want to set up the left turn. You want to be cutting the left chicane so you can get a better run out of this right sweeper. Coming up around this left-hander. Brake pretty hard down to second. You want to try to kiss that apex so you can be on the power as soon as possible. And then probably one of the most difficult to judge, this very fast left and right-hander. You need to cut the entry as much as humanly possible, because the exit, you're going to, 2 tires off, you get a 1X.
And across the line for John Daniels, that time by, he looks like he's getting out of the way.
Yeah, he had some off track, so I think he was going to abort that lap.
125.6 for his fastest qualifier. That was a 125.9, only 3 laps off. But look at Johan de Roy, 124.06. Shea McNeely, last week's winner, 124.4, so 4/10 off. Do you think one car manufacturer, one platform?
I do. I had done testing here before I had picked the McLaren. The Corvette, I think, is the strongest car here. The car, it rotates very well on entry, and you can really hammer the power exiting. It just has really good exit grip. I just couldn't keep the car consistently planted, whereas the McLaren, I can throw it into a corner, not really have to worry about it looping. The Corvette for me would loop every now and then, so I just wasn't comfortable with it. But I think the Porsche, with its ability to really hammer out of corners, and then the Corvette's just ability to rotate, I think those are the 2 strongest cars today.
All right, we'll keep an eye on that as the race progresses. Of course, it all comes down to the person behind the wheel and the person pressing the loud pedal and the stop pedal. Shea McNeely has taken over the pole. We got a fight for pole. The first one to get in the 23s, 23.92. And now Jamil Gummer in the Acura jumps up to third with 24.2.
3 of the top 4 Porsches.
And there's
Porsche is such a joy to drive. It's not my favorite on the fixed setup.
It's one of the best looking cars in my.
Oh, and the best sounding.
One of the best sounding cars. It's hard to pick the sound, but you definitely hear that boxer engine as it goes by. All right, so it's pretty much finished the lap you're on. 25 seconds to start your final flying lap. Jason Wahlberg, man. Chase, thanks again so much for joining us tonight, man. It's been a real pleasure to have you on Circuit Zolder. We're going to miss you on track. 25 cars. I mean, maybe the GT3 cars might not miss you so much. Give it the points up. But yeah, it's great to have you in the booth, and we appreciate it. You stopping by before we get this race started.
Thank you. Anytime.
See you next week.
All right, brother.
All right. S. Chase Fincher. Thank you, Chase, for joining us. Two minutes of overtime, we're being told. We'll see if anybody can top Shay's 23.4. 23.8 for Johan DeRoy. Looks like Chase is still on a flyer trying to finish this one out. The yellow dot on the screen coming up on the final turn 10.
Not looking as fast as his previous laps here. Yep, pulling back in.
Very tricky pit entrance.
His last lap was full of purple sectors.
Oh. But he takes the pole. No reason to finish. Yeah.
We saw a lot of practice sessions go up this week, so I think we saw a lot of people putting in a lot of time, and still a lot of people were nervous about being able to harness this track. This, I know, the alternate setup, not one that I've run until preparing for this race. Certainly opens up a lot of speed.
And don't forget this GT4s as well. 11 GT4s. Landon Sprinkle going to start us off with a second wave, but very close. Looks like the first 7 all within a second and a half of each other. We're going to have some very tight racing tonight. Thanks to everybody for joining us on YouTube, the new home of Midwest Motorsports. If you haven't already, like the video on your way in. And there you have it. There's qualifying results. Congrats to Shay McNeely. Best place to start's in the front.
Yeah, I think with the chicanes here, it's a fairly narrow track. Definitely being in the front of the pack is one way to avoid any potential issues. The further back you are, the more the people in front of you are impactful.
All right, so if you're not familiar, about 5 seconds apart after the cars roll out, we'll have 2 waves of green flag. Race starts, and we're going to go green for 100 minutes. I believe 15X is the number for drive-through. Is that right?
Correct.
All right.
15, and then should be 5. Every 5 should be another black flag, and then 25 will be a DQ. So it is definitely easy to do so in practice. I myself was putting up lopsided numbers. It is easy to pick them up here, trying to make time in the chicanes or get all the speed on the exit. So hopefully drivers will be able to keep it together here. You'd hate to see that be an impact in the race, but that is an important part of the race. They will take a full pace lap here.
All right, it's anybody's race. You can see the field's going, GT4's going a little slower than the GT3s just to get that gap. Shea McNeely warming up his tires. We expect to see at least 3 pit stops for the GT3s. More than likely just 2 for the GT4s. So pit strategy will be a factor today. Did you get enough laps to consider tire wear there, Adam, in your practice runs?
Yeah, I think you should be able to go maybe one swap of tires for the GT4s. I'm not sure on the GT3s. But consideration here is, I mean, you can see already the marbles are loaded up here off the racing line, and it's pretty narrow racing lines here. So getting offline, you are going to pick up marbles. And once people start going off in those chicanes, they're going to start throwing gravel up back on the track. So we're going to see a lot of debris. So taking care of your tires is going to be important here, and keeping an eye on, you know, how much you're picking up debris.
Good point. Shea McNeely steps on the loud pedal. Johan DeRoy in the Porsche off in second. Jamil Gummer in the Acura third. GT3's race is underway for round 2, Midwest Motorsports Road Series. Here comes the GT4s looking through. There we go. Thanks, Adam. Sorry, I know you couldn't predict that. And Landon Sprinkle and the McLaren takes off for the GT4s underway. McLaren 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the GT4s. Here's the GT3 battle. The race for the win is on. Johan DeRoy applying pressure early to go through the chicane the first time. Everybody being very cautious as the tires warm up, not to get incident points early. Don't want to build those up. Great static cam view. And the GT4s go through the chicane also being cautious. Remember, 4Xs and above on the first lap will be reviewed, so everybody's keeping it clean.
Yeah, good to make it through on the first one. Everybody's bunched up. That's potential for chaos and a nightmare for race director Josh.
Or you can see Shea McNeely hustling the cars. Johan DeRoy.
Whoa. Oh,
Very
no,
well, he's down. I think he might have got contact there. Oh, no, not the way Johan DeRoy wants to start. Now he's got to figure out how to keep it clean. To spin it around, snap turn, very difficult to do. He has to reset.
Oh, he's going to reset.
Oh, man. Not the way Johan DeRoy wanted that to go, but Shea McNeely now has pressure. Here we go. Oh, he just spins it all on his own. Looks like he went really wide and then tried to correct it. Couldn't gather it up as he re-entered the track. Did he make contact with the wall? Yep, that'll do it. Like he missed it with the front, but the rear's caught.
Yeah, he may have had enough time there to get around before the GT4s came through, but when you're backward on the front stretch, you just want to be in your pit box.
I have to really give an attaboy to Johan for doing that. He might have been able to do a 3-point turn, but the front straight very narrow with concrete barriers on inside and outside. Yeah. Just not quite worth.
The car, we also have no sense of, that car might be totaled. Race director Josh Watts says that Johan is dead. I don't believe Johan's dead, but his car may not be in a good shape.
His car is no longer fit for driving on the road.
Hopefully his force feedback is turned down.
Oh, yeah. That's a wrist breaker right there.
That's right. I know my friend came over to drive this weekend and shook his arms for a little while after wrecking a car with 5 Newton meters. That was a lot for him. So
All right, so that moves Jamil Gummer up to P2 and Jason Wahlberg up to P3.
wow, it sounds like race control also noted Johan de Roy for changing lanes before crossing start finish there on the start. So there will also be a black flag to serve after that. So compounding troubles for Johan de Roy, who qualified very fast, starting second. So long night for Team Johan.
Just goes to show what a fine line these guys are working with. Trying to get that extra limit, find the limit. They're riding with Justin Glickner here, right behind his buddy Justin Thaler. Once again, get used to the view. We've been here before.
Now these two aren't known to socialize. They don't like to meet other people, just hang out as a pack of Justins. So if there are any other Justins out there that want to join the league, these guys might have you.
We always have room for more Justins. These two right-handers here, that you can really get a good run out of here on to the next chicane is the next braking zone. You can really make or lose some time.
Looks like something happened to David Stark and Jesse Coffey. Oh no.
That's David Stark going backwards, or sideways at least. Coming through right in front of John Daniels and...
Yeah, so not too bad for Jesse Coffey there. Able to gather it in before doing any damage.
Slam on the brakes when your rear end is opposite the direction you should be going. It helps rotate it usually, but just wait for that car to change directions and then hit the brakes. So I've done that before. Jesse Coffey back and CJ Barzak up to P3.
Yeah, as we said, CJ hosted a number of practice sessions this week, saw a good number of guys in there.
And the GT4 battle is super tight. 0.3 of a second. Ron Cabiltas chasing Landon Sprinkle. Ron Cabiltas, very patient driver. Probably content following for now until the pit stop. He knows the long race. And they are pulling away from third place, Chet Miller. Only a second and a half, but over time that will build up.
Yeah, I know the Midwest Motorsports own Lando Sprinkle has also been putting in the time in the practice sessions, so good to see that coming through for him.
Glickner is under pressure now from Steve Hansel in the Corvette. Good to see Steve. Let's see if Steve can put together a good 100 minutes. He's overdue for a good run after last season and the beginning of this season not going the way he wanted to. Shout out Steve for killing it on the website. Keep your eyes open for more updates on that. I do like the paint job on Glickner's McLaren.
Yeah, and keep in mind all the, the GT3 drivers have raced GT3s regularly and, other leagues, in official sessions, but running the GT3 in the fixed setup here may not be something that a lot of our drivers have done recently. So, they are adjusting now to these new cars, especially as you see, the Acuras and the dark horses, net new cars to the game, to this ecosystem. So these guys are learning these new vehicles, and also some tracks that we may not hit as regularly, and layouts that aren't as familiar. So people will be learning over this entire session.
CJ Barzak, hot on the heels. No, I'm sorry. He's got Travis Rowe hot on his heels, as it looks like Jamil Gummer has dropped, and he's still dropping 9th, 10th. Something happened to Jamil. We lost him.
Yeah, unfortunately, backward, heading through the chicane there.
You mentioned how tricky the Acuras are to drive. Yeah, they was just putting on the power.
Apologies for that camera there.
Nice. He'll get it going. He's got it pointed the right direction now. He's got about 22 seconds to regain. See if he can do it. Long race. Kyle Ryan in the ends. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to say, as long as the car is in one piece, other people will be having their own adventures off the track and with the car pointed the wrong direction. So it's a long race. It's going to even out, and being consistent and trying to avoid being backward again is going to be a huge factor here in getting a great finish. Oh no!
Kyle Ryan getting into it on the straight. It was Taylor Montague he might have been racing with.
I believe it was Aaron Mitchell.
Aaron, BMW.
Leaders of the GT3 division come through unharmed.
Let's see how this happened. Going around the top of the track.
Oh, just got a little.
Tried to save it, and right in front of Kyle. Kyle had nowhere to go.
Yeah, it can be tough to get the power down. Once you get through that chicane, it feels like you slowed so much to hit that line correctly. You can get on the power, but it needs to be progressive, and you have to really feel that level of grip. So when somebody's in your rearview mirror and you're really trying to lay it down, I think that's kind of what happened there, and especially once you got the rear tires on the curb. You can see all the marbles here.
As we're watching CJ Barzak blink his lights as he goes through Justin Shoup and Taylor Montague, as they were having a great battle. Then also Travis Rowe was right behind and kind of interfered with Taylor and Justin. Taylor and Justin continued their battle right as both cars of the GT3 class went through. So really good racing as ebb and flow of lap traffic and letting the leaders, the faster cars through. Justin Shoup and Taylor Montague resume their race, their nose to tail. And Travis Rowe continues his pursuit of CJ Barzak with only 13 minutes in. Lots of action already.
Word from the number 78 through the BMW number 78. Apparently, they can't get their motorized headrest corrected, and they have retired from the race. So they had to retire that BMW.
That's unfortunate for Colin. Hopefully he'll be back. I think this is not one of those tracks that you just pick up and show up without knowing the track and or the car or both. Because you have cars all over the place. Ron Cabiltas, second place, last week's winner, trying to find a gear. Let everybody through. Thanks for getting a safe rejoin, Ron. Drops from second all the way down to eighth. That is going to give Chet Miller the lead. And Lando Sprinkle has dropped down to third, 15 seconds back. So they might add some help as coming through first chicane right up to the start finish line. Ooh, the curbs bite again.
Yeah, you can see how hard these curbs are on that McLaren.
Ooh.
Started bouncing. Luckily, the motor's not up there in the front, in the frunk. No harm done. Nice long wait to merge.
3 wide. GT3s. All of these are GT3s. Francis Faustino. I got to admit, that car looks gorgeous in the McLaren. And here we are, Justin Glickner and Steve Hansel continue their fight. This is for P7. Steve Hansel in the Corvette. Oh, Jamil Gummer. Superman's it. 4 wheels off the ground.
Yeah, we saw a lot of screenshots of cars taking flight in practice sessions as people learned just how hard they could take that chicane.
The Dark Horse Mustang goes through, then this guy, Justin Glickner in the McLaren, looking back at Steve Hansel. The silver and yellow Corvette. Closest battle on the track right now. These guys are head down, eyes up. Justin Thaler going around a GT4. You can see the gap on the towers, 5 seconds to the leaders.
You can hear the Dark Horse Mustang growling. Sounds like a modified race is just taking off down the way.
Yeah. You can hear it 2 countries away. Measuring 2.4 scale.
Someone posted one of the GT3 Dark Horses getting a tune-up down in Daytona and titled "The Sound of the Engine" as the Michigan fight song.
Jamil getting through. That was Aaron again. Sorry. Yeah, Aaron.
Look at the thread on this.
Gotta find the gap. Everybody's in a rush.
It is not a wide track.
Risk reward for sure. Jamil Gummer's paid the price before. Back to 11th he goes.
Yeah, we've harped on consistency, and I think it's definitely difficult to stay consistent on this track. You got to be so smooth as you're losing fuel, burning fuel throughout the session, as your tires are going away. moving back your points, picking up the throttle more carefully, and then adding in all of the GT4 traffic for these GT3 drivers. I think Jamil Gummer and John Daniels might hang out all night long.
I think Jamil has passed these two guys at least once already, if not twice. John Daniels takes a wider entry. That helps him on the exit. Jamil Gummer carries a lot of speed. And now Francis yields. John Daniels not so likely to give up position as he goes off. Gets two wheels off and now parks on the apex. Jamil crosses him over. Nice textbook move, carrying more speed. Going to be braking into the final right end before the straight. Jamil Gummer gets him going. And now Jamil's turn to drive a wide car. Keep John Daniels behind him. Then he'll straighten it out, and we give that position to Jamil Gummer as they go through the chicane straight a single file.
Yeah, perfect setup there, going through that big sweeper. The tight line works really very nicely. Backed up the entry there, knowing that Daniels was going to block there. John went a little wider on that, and Jamil was able to run up the inside with that acceleration.
And already he's pulled away.
And that really, again, sets up right here from this section. You know, if you don't get the best run you can from this section, you're going to be at significant disadvantage.
You see Travis Rowe pitting already. He thinks he can go with one stop after this as we have more.
Yeah, Justin Taylor's already hit the pit as well.
All right. Go fill her up now and then just one more stop to the end. Don't take tires, maybe take tires on the second stop. Justin Taylor's stop was 16 seconds.
New look front runners here for the AM division.
Here he is, Chet Miller in the turquoise and black McLaren. 11-second lead over second place. Way to go, Chet. Miller pulls over and allows the faster GT3 through. Maybe you can follow, pick something up. Miller showing that he knows he's been here before. Put in the work. Brian Coxon now has taken over the lead as Jay McNeely has come in for his stop. CJ Barsack also pitted.
Quite a lot of color for Brian after being white and blue for so long in the GT4 McLaren.
It is a different look for Brian. Like he crashed into a Sherman Williams on the way to the racetrack.
Nice to see him express himself. Justin Gleckner also pulling in the pits. Looks like Travis Rowe not far behind, or no, that's Jesse Coffey. Brian Coxon and Jameel Gummer yet to stop.
We know Brian is known for running a smooth, consistent race and fuel save as well. So we'll see how much longer he goes. While he has clean track, I don't blame him. Get as many fast laps as you can without traffic. You can see from the track map up above. No pressure there, but the tank can only hold so much. See if he takes a right this time by. Yes, he does. Into the pits he comes. Pit lane speed limiter at the yellow cone. And there are the fuel tanks. Watch out for those. All right, fuel pumps. Big time racing coming onto the pit straightaway. 3 wide. Coming right at you into the living room. That is John Daniels. Jesse Coffey. And Francis Faustino. All GT3s. The GT4 mixed up there in between them. Of Ron Kabiltas. John Daniels paving the way. Got Jesse Coffey trying to make a comeback after a earlier shenanigans.
Beautiful sunset here. You can see a couple grills going in the camping section as the fans watch this endurance race play out.
Side by side into the first, well, the left, right. Purple and white. GT4s. And Jason Wahlberg gets around him. Back up. Shea McNeely, after all the GT3 pits have cycled through, Shea McNeely rotates back out to the front. Brian Coxon comes out of the pits P4. 3 spots up from where he qualified.
Yeah, he's about 13 seconds back from Shea after the stop.
I'm hearing Taylor Montague has also dropped out. Sorry about your luck, Taylor. Hopefully you'll come back.
Yeah, with the walls being as close as they are and the speed of the areas where you're likely to go off, the repairs are going to be expensive, and even with the extra time in this session, you just may not have enough time to get that repaired and put that car back on track. That might make it time to go make dinner.
Hopefully you'll stay in the world so you get credit for completing the race, especially on a double points paying event.
Yeah, never quit.
Like Steve Hansel has got between the Justins, and Steve Hansel is pulling away. Good on you, Steve. Now he's on the hunt for Thaler.
Yeah, this track just has so much sweeping turn here as you see these cars work their way through. It almost makes you want to over slow the car. Even here into the chicane, you want to slow the car almost more than you need to in order to make it through there and keep up this speed. You really don't want to shed that speed.
The speed of the GT3 of Steve Hansel goes right around GT4.
Yeah, nice clean pass there. Looks like about 7 seconds of time delta between the best pro lap and best am lap here. 1:23.97 for Shea McNeely and a 1:39.1 for, who laid that down? 1:39.1. Landon Sprinkle with a 1:39.3. Ron Kabiltes with the 1:39.1. So on all-out pace, very close to each other. Ron just having that one incident there in the chicane to be backwards.
Currently 7th on the hunt. Back to Glickner. And Jamil Gummer has caught Justin Glickner. Each person Jamil catches, he has to work that much harder. Can he do it? He's looking inside. Justin Glickner's not going to just pull over and give it to him. As they're looking up at Steve Hansel. So this battle between Justin and Glickner and Steve Hansel is not over. And Jamil using all of the exit curbing to carry speed.
Hopefully using his polarized shield visor.
Right. It's a beautiful sunset. Continues to go dark. Nice little
Great
long
angle there. Great angle there through the chicane. You can see barely taking either of those curbs.
into the left, right, left, or right, left, right. And Jamil get a good run on the exit. So do the cars in front, and this race battle is on. Into the braking zone, Jamil has an advantage. Seeing the other cars brake first. Steve Hansel no longer in attack mode, now in defense mode. His pace seems to have dropped just a little bit. From a 1.5 second gap between he and Justin Glickner, now it's under half a second. Turn one. This is GT3 at its best. A couple of cars dropping out, clearing up some space. Also, the GT4 leaders are into the pits. So, see how this plays out. Chester Miller running the Moza ecosystem. Chester Miller is also a drum player. At home, it's, Aaron Miller going wide. Andrew Miller. I'm sorry, Aaron Mitchell. Here's your GT3 leader and overall race leader, Shea McNeely. Back to this battle's Jamil. Third in line.
Yeah, I think the BOP is really working nicely here. You can see there's up and down the field, different cars battling each other in similar positions. So in different ways, I mean, I think we've seen this, just the way that these cars rotate, the way that they get on power and accelerate. The GT3 and the GT4 class both really, I think, wash out to the degree to which we're just seeing great racing in these classes. Blending in through Ron Kabiltzi's there as he comes out through the pits. Francis Faustino on the heels of Jesse Coffey. Ian Bakaitis and Rick Bundren in the pits. CJ's had a lot of orange in his rearview mirror, looking back at Jason Wahlberg's Acura NSX. You know, that NSX has been is a bear to keep pointed the right direction on this track. Jason's been on the charge. Brian Coxon not far behind them. Couple seconds to make up to catch up to those guys. And Brian Coxon here. Overlapping Aaron Mitchell. A field of 25, cut down, I believe, by 3 cars so far. Go ahead, James.
Yeah, I was just going to say, if there's the first round was any indication, the second round of pit stops for the GT3s should be coming up. We'll see who rides it out longer and if tires come on for the second stop. As your leader's working his way through traffic now, he's got 3 cars directly in front. One pulls over right away. Thank you. Nice move. Now he's coming up on Justin Shoop.
Anywhere from lap 13 or 14 to lap 17 for the GT3s pitting.
And Ron Kabiltzi's get by Justin here. That's a battle for position. The GT4s, as Shea gets through, and now we got another car looking to go through. Ron Kabiltzi gives the position back to Justin. That's good sportsmanship, not to fight it. But Justin still lost some momentum. Can Ron Kabiltzi take advantage? Not yet, but now the racing can resume. As I'd say that's good sportsmanship. I don't know if he could have made it. I think Ron could have forced the issue. He chose not to. Justin Shoop in the Miami colors. The yellow wheels. Holds that Porsche straight. Love it. Ron Kubilta's qualified second. Now he's got a good run. Squeezes it or braking. Makes the move. Justin Shoup fights back. And you know these guys are smiling in their rigs ear to ear as they go side by side across the line. It's a dead tie, but not the line. Here they come into the final. Turn 10. Now we can give the position to Ron. See if he can pull away and chase after Ian Bakaitis, who's next on his list as Jamil Gummer flashes his lights to come through. Oops, it's not Jamil. Is it? Nope.
No, that would be CJ Barzak there.
EJ. Second place.
Oh, no.
Get used to these new paints. Oh, no. Justin Glickner. Oh. That is a long, painful drive back to the pits as suspension damage on both of the rear
Oh,
tires.
he's close enough.
I
They
know.
can get him the rest of the way.
I tried to figure out how to get in. He's going to lose that lap. Jamil, oh, just tank slapper. All on his own.
Oh, and takes Jamil Gummer.
Oh, no. Jamil could have seen that, I think. Maybe Jamil's in-car might get us better. Picture, but right. There's Glickner trying to catch it. Oh. Jamil went left, driver's left to avoid. And Glickner tried to catch the tank slap. So there's a GT4 right ahead. Glickner's trying to avoid. No.
Yeah, they're still chasing Steve Hansel there.
Jeez.
You can
A
see.
little lift there from Glickner.
Yep.
No curbs. Just on the power. Right there,
Just
then he lifts and the lift off oversteer and he's pointing the reels the wrong way. Jamil tries to stay wide without getting a 4X or all the way off track.
might be
Oh, that's just bad luck for Jamil.
a little bit of net code. No, he gets. Nope. I think that. Yeah. The snapback over just was too much to hold back, I think. And and again, that comes down to how tight the quarters are in this back section. Once you get in the woods, you are in the trenches. You're not just out here hot lapping.
Right. The walls don't give. Right there.
It's like Justin Taylor taking his pit stop. The number 21 team has maybe put a new front end on that car. Yep, they've gone out ahead and bundled that back up and sent Justin back out to battle. Ian Bakaitis chasing Rick Bundren. See Ian trying to get that toe. You can get some toe here. Haven't seen a lot of the Dark Horse Mustang given those big Talladega pushes, but it's a long season. I assume we'll see it at some point.
Still early. Right.
Traffic here for Brian Coxon to navigate.
It's Rick Bundren just ahead is Brian Coxon. 4 wheels off the air in the chicane. Still trying to get around Ian Bakaitis. And does into the chicane.
Brian's got Gaijin on his car. Not sure the significance to Brian to be a Japanese foreigner, but
looks like all the lights are on now. all the cars,
Wahlberg.
not just the blinkers. So it's going to continue to get darker as Jason Wahlberg comes in for his second stop.
Francis has been putting in a consistent day, staying out of trouble. Getting all the way over to break the toe. Not quite an Indianapolis Motor Speedway snake, but doing what he can.
See if Jesse can reel him in, make a move. But you're right, Francis Faustino holding his own. There's Jesse chasing him down. Little by little, 2 GT3s under a second now for Jesse Coffey to get him up to 6th spot. Jesse is up 5 places from his qualifying. So Jesse Coffey apparently did not get a good qualifying lap in.
Yeah, patient getting back on power there. Especially if you're trying to nurse those tires. You don't want to get on them too hard. Chet Miller clearing out a 17-second gap now to Landon Sprinkle. There is not a pit stop to account for that gap.
Your speed for Chet Miller.
Yeah, really nice race. New entrant to the GT Road Series from the oval side of the house.
From Defiance. I don't know what state that is. 21 years old. Engaged. He's only been sim racing for 2 years, according to his Fun Facts form. Running the Moses system. Wants to be on top of the amateur drivers and a big Colton Herta fan. And here we go, Travis Rowe and Justin Thaler. These guys have had a couple of highly contested laps. Travis Rowe is not going to take the CEO of Midwest Motorsports out on purpose, but the Dark Horse Mustang leads the Porsche through the final chicane, turn 10. Now Travis Rowe pops out side by side. Justin Thaler's entry is going to be compromised. And Travis go around the outside, Justin Thaler's going to fight back hard. And he has to give it up. Move Travis Rowe up one more spot.
And the torque of the Dark Horse not quite a factor in a long sweeper like that. But we'll see here as the chicanes come if he's able to get the power down and catch back up.
Oh, that Porsche looks good through there. Travis Rowe stopped 2 laps before Justin. So now Justin only stopped 2 laps ago, so I think his tires should be up to temperature. I think that was just purely based on speed. As you can see, the Porsche get really light on the front end as it crests the hill. All right, nice move. Nice racing. Travis now has about 30 seconds to catch up to CJ Barzak. As Brian Coxon has yet to make his second stop. And he goes long once again on his fuel. Finally, he comes in.
Yeah, this is 17 laps again, so apparently he's comfortable with that number. That's the length he went before his first stop, so. It's like Travis Rowe had an incident there.
Oh no. We just saw him make a great move on Justin, was pulling away and pushing it to another level.
Telling us he had a
Meatball.
meatball, but
Maybe the same thing that Johan did on that final chicane. Trying to get everything he can. And rewind from there. That's when he realized his car was in trouble. Yep.
yeah, looks like he catches some wall here.
Looks like there was a second adjustment. Yep, same, just like, almost, except he missed the outside wall and ends up in the inside wall, slaps the right rear on the wall hard, and it's broke. Toe link.
Yeah, that'll be a toe link.
Jason
They're dropping the bucket for the inventory crew.
That's right. Jason Wahlberg working traffic. That's Leave. That's Rick Bundren. Yep, with the Imbacati up the road. So Jason Wahlberg, DJ Barzak. The battle for second right in front of us. Fighting through the GT4 traffic. Also with Brian Coxon immediately behind after his second stop. So these GT3s are for position. As well as the GT4s. They're in a battle as well. So now going through there, they get a little separation. But your leader, Shea McNeely, 18 seconds up the road.
Rick Bundren coming up here to Ron Kabiltes and Ian Bakaitis. Train of GT4 cars.
I think that's Ron Kabiltes coming through. As he passed Rick earlier, passed Justin earlier, the teammates, and now he's got his sights set on Ian Bakaitis. Ron Kabiltes qualified on the front row, had an accident earlier, and now he's working his way back up. P4, we'll see if he can get a podium. I think the victory might be a little bit of a reach, but we still have 47 minutes to go.
Yeah, we've seen some cars take catastrophic damage very quickly tonight. So anything can change here. We are, really only into what would be remaining almost a full race for this league, not an endurance. So there's still plenty to come. The broadcast crew might need to take a pit stop here as well.
Right on. Feel free to leave it here. We can watch Ron Kabiltes chase down Ian Bakaitis. No worries.
Brian Coxon taking advantage of that extra downforce to get tighter on that turn.
Justin Glickner with new tires and new service. Basically a whole new car. Brought up their backup car after he totaled it earlier. like Adam said, we're almost a full regular Road Series race in left. And Ron Kabilta's making his way back through, chasing season 6 champion Ian Bakaitis. The Mission 22 BMW up ahead. Where is Ron going to make the move? Nice and smooth on the steering wheel.
Yeah, he made some good time up going through the chicane, but just isn't getting the same drive that Ian is getting. Maybe got on the power a little too early and had to lift.
I think he's trying to pick his spot and give Ian just enough rope to hang himself and now get a good run. Gonna have to launch and get on the power early without running him over. So now he goes inside. Ian Bakaitis sees he's there. Ron Kabiltas now it's going to be on the outside, and it's going to be really hard to hold that outside line around turn 2 and 3.
Yeah, you really need to flow the car wide to keep and maintain that speed, but Ian just got too wide.
What a move. That is Midwest Motorsports GT4. And that's the Ian Bakaitis we know, flashing his light saying, good move.
Yeah, he looks like he just took it a little bit too wide and had to lift to get back.
All he can do to keep Ian from doing a good run down the straight. Or the right, left, right. 6, 7. Chicane. Move Ron Kabilta's up to 4th, and now he's got a lot of work ahead of him. 32 seconds up to Geyer.
Looks like an incident for Steve Hansel. No damage done.
Oh no, Steve Hansel. Oh man.
Just a little more curb than he can chew and back on his way. If you're going to go around, that's the way you'd like to do it. Kyle Ryan and Justin Shoup. Justin Shoup with the inverse of Rick Bundren.
Kyle Ryan in 8th. Looking up at Justin Shoup. Kyle Ryan, CJ's twin brother. As John Daniels in the GT3 goes through.
Yeah, we've got a couple.
Kyle Ryan puts the power down.
What, 4 sets of match?
Here comes Steve Hansel after a spin. Steve Hansel is seeing red. Uses the power of the GT3 to get by them both. Justin Shoup is in a race, so he cannot completely stop. Kyle Ryan would take advantage for sure. If they make it through, once again, the advantage of league racing, that you will be held accountable for all bonehead moves.
All of the above.
Right. Nope. That's not Travis Rowe. Jesse Coffey. Kyle Ryan continues to try to catch up to Justin Shoup. The final chicane, turn 10. Looking back now, where's Kyle going to make the move? Hard under braking for turn 1. With the lurking Francis Faustino behind. Francis goes the long way around the outside of turn 2 and uses the power of the GT3 to get by, and he's gone. Kyle Ryan looking left, looking right. Justin Shoup trying to figure out where to place his car to keep Kyle behind him. The battle for 7th in the GT4 class. Once again, thanks to everybody for joining in, tuning in. MidwestMotorsports.com, where you can find us. This is our road series on Tuesday nights. We have 2 oval series as well. Friday night for the Craftsman Truck Series and Sunday for the Cup Series. You can go to Midwest-Motorsports.com. Check out the rules and the different series. Decide which one you want to participate in and join us. Sign-ups are always open and always free. Midwest-Motorsports.com. Kyle Ryan can't do it. Justin Ship driving a good line. And we have one of our first takers for the drive-through is Shea McNeely, the leader. Works his way through Justin Ship and Kyle Ryan. Steve Hansel trying to make a comeback. After spinning, Steve was on a good run. Still holding strong in 7th, but lost a couple of positions. There he is in the Corvette. Looking up at John Daniels. This is a battle for position. Closest battle on the track. Go to the beginning of the lap. Steve Hansel taking a wide entrance to turn 2. If he can get a good run, carries a lot of speed through turn 3 and it's back to the first chicane. GT4 traffic of Ron Cabiltas on the left. Is Steve going to dive? Not this time by. John Daniels is going to get a break here. Steve Hansel does a good job of creating a gap so he can get him on the beginning of the run. Down to the next chicane. Right, left, right. Deceiving, it's downhill. It's got a couple of little odd crests at weird places in the chicane. Very difficult to get it just right and be fast. Not to mention once, much less every lap.
Yeah, you can definitely feel on a lap around here.
Hansel's caught right back up to John Daniels. John Daniels is not known for giving space. He won't wreck you, but he races you hard, clean, and fair. And he's fast. So Steve Hansel's going to have to work for this one. This is the closest battle on the track. "37 minutes to go." Your leader, Shea McNeely, is coming up on these guys, Rick Bundren and Ian Bakaitis, who are battling for 5th. There goes Shea. GT4 cars just come up so quick. You're not paying attention to the relative or your mirror. Easy to get surprised.
Still holding on to some visibility here.
Like Steve catches up on braking zone, mostly on John Daniels. John Daniels might be playing it conservative on entry to make sure he doesn't blow the exit or being consistent with Steve Hansel. I believe has the pace to get by John. He carries a little more speed. Now he's in the slipstream. Just when you think you got him, here comes another chicane. And another chicane. And another chicane. Justin Glickner and Travis Rowe pitting again. I'm not sure if that's for damage. Glickner is definitely for damage. Oh, and Travis, that's 15 minutes. All right, there he is. Justin Thaler's not going to make a liar out of me. He's coming in from P5. It's going to let John Daniels take over 5th place for now. There's Justin in the dark horse. Going right by the fuel pumps. Self-service only, the full service down the road in the garage stalls, but you got to bring your own. John Daniels pulled away from Steve. Steve must have had it off. Trying to send it, but not make contact. And John Daniels wins the battle, but the war is not over. We have 34 minutes left. There's your leader, Shay. 18 seconds now to CJ Barzak. And Brian Coxon has taken over 3rd place from Jason Wahlberg, who's in the pits. So GT3 pit cycles starting. I think they're going to need a splash after this for everybody, but maybe not Brian Coxon. I really believe that Brian Coxon has saved a pit stop. So Shay McNeely needs to go ask his roommate upstairs. Or is Shay downstairs? I'm not sure. But Shay needs to be careful and watch out for his roommate, Brian Coxon.
Yeah, I'm not sure how what their dorm setup is like now, but
Do not take the hats to victory lane. Brian Coxon's been running just a little bit off pace. About half a second a lap. But maybe it's just enough to conserve the energy as you watch GT3 of John Daniels behind go past lower GT4 car as they argue over real estate. John Daniels gets it, but here's Jason Wahlberg. He has made his 3rd stop. 32 seconds back from Brian Coxon. They were within a second, so we'll see where they come out. When Brian pits, if Brian pits. Of course he will, but Jason Wahlberg is on his outlap right now. Landon Sprinkle has made some time up on Chet Miller. For the GT4, they're the only 2 drivers on the same lap right now as Jay works through the GT4 guys. But we're watching Jason Wahlberg. As Shay McNeely is in the pits for his stop. We're looking down the long pit lane. Here's Brian Coxon. The current leader, Brian Coxon, has not made his third stop, nor has Jesse Coffey. I think Brian Coxon and Jesse Coffey might try to. Can they go 10 more minutes? I don't know. Be about 5 laps, 7 laps maybe. Brian Coxon works his way around Ian Makadas.
Looks like a drive-through for the 52 of Kyle Ryan. 30 minutes left to go in this race.
Brian Coxon is on John Daniels, who is currently 6th, 7th, to put him a lap down.
After that pit cycle, Shea is 4/10 faster through sector 1 than Brian Coxon.
Brian Coxon, is he going to stop this time? Not sure. Battle's heating up. To put John Daniels a lap down. "27 minutes to go." Brian Coxon is the only one in the GT3s who have only made 2 stops so far. We're winding down. The first hour. I'm sorry, first hour and 10 minutes, so just under 30 to go. John Daniels did a good job of keeping the distance between he and Brian Coxon, so this is all on strategy and consistency. The fact that Brian is caught up to him, he makes his way through the final corner, turn 10.
Yeah, it looks like Brian, now Shea coming out after his pit stop. Brian is,
Interestingly enough, that's John Daniels' fastest lap. 24.8. All right, we're watching Brian Coxon with 25 minutes to go. So he's close. Maybe 23, 22 minutes. He might be able to stretch. Brian Coxon, is he going to skip a pit stop and surprise everybody? I would not put it past him. Do a 3-stopper where everybody else in the GT3 ranks does 4.
Yeah, we'll see. He's got 4 extra laps on the rest of the field, but I don't know if that'll be enough on its own.
I see your green light blinking at him on the Discord, but I don't hear you, so it might be me. So if I've been talking over you during this time, I apologize.
Yeah, check.
Can Brian Coxon pull off some magic and make it all the way from here?
Yeah, it seems like it would be a lot to ask.
All right, I think I got you now, Adam. I don't know what I changed, but one more mic check.
I'm here.
All right, gotcha.
Got a fresh pit stop. Got the new sneakers on.
New shoes. All right. You good to go to the end? You've topped off on fuel?
I think so. I think we'll be able to make it here to the end. Track temps are coming down.
Brian Coxon is 38 seconds behind Shea McNeely, and Shea has a stop to make. We'll see if that pit delta is just right, or if Shea did the math. Like I say, I think they're roommates. I didn't hear your thoughts on how Shea and
Yeah, I
Brad
think
communicate.
they're at least in the same dorm at this point, if not in the same dorm room anymore, where they used to be back to back in their rigs.
Traffic plays a factor. Landon Sprinkle. Second place in the AMPS, giving way to Brian Coxon. The McLaren dash and steering wheel is a beautiful thing to look at for an hour and 40 minutes. And the GT4 McLaren not so bad as well. Uh-oh. He's blinking. Landon. Gets by the lap car. I believe that's Justin Ship. First car 1 lap down. 6 cars on the lead lap for the GT4s.
Yeah, that's correct.
And maybe 8 GT3s on the lead lap. So pretty awesome. Jesse Coffey, Steve Hansel. Steve Hansel wants the position bad. Drives it around the outside on the exit. He's still going to be on the outside for turn 3. And he did. Jesse Coffey, very respectful. Now Steve has the inside line and pulls over finally to get a good line through the first chicane. Oh, misses it. This is going to give Jesse Coffey, he might get a slowdown. Steve might have to give the position up. And he does. Good on you, Steve. You're going to have to do it all over again now.
Yeah, I think the nice thing about the chicane and the braking zones here in this back stretch is if you do pick up that slowdown, there's plenty of time to try to wash it out in your braking. But Steve doing the right thing to actually honor the slowdown and not try to hide that.
And they have the leader behind them. So these guys are fighting for position and fighting to stay on the lead lap. As well, that was close for Steve. Almost doing a Johan and a Glickner. Steve on the inside for turn 1. Your race leader looking at the...
Oh, no, Steve!
I don't know if that was on power or maybe netcode. I believe that may have been all Steve stepping on the gas, recognizing that the leader's behind him. Here comes Francis Faustino's going to get a spot. Kick it, old man, when he's down. I think it was just on power. The Corvette's the one we're watching. As he comes through turn 1. On the curbing. Yep. No touch. Oh, Steve. We've all been there. Don't have traction control. Adjustments, all you. Tough, Steve. It's all right. He only lost 1 position. That's to Francis. P2, Jason Wahlberg. 5 seconds over CJ Barzak now. Sure, he's happy he can breathe. Little bit of breathing room.
We've seen a fairly aggressive Steve Hansel tonight.
Yeah. Going for broke. But sacrificing himself before he makes contact with anybody else, I think. Both times tonight, he'd fall on his sword as opposed to taking somebody else with him.
It looks like he'll pit now.
Yeah.
Jason Wahlberg runs by.
Everybody can make it from here if they stop. CJ Barzak is in from 3rd. Jason Wahlberg stays out. 5 seconds was the gap before the pit cycle. Ian Picard is flashing the GT3 in front of him with Justin Taylor. Sometimes you got a reputation to keep, so
Yeah.
right, you got to live up to it.
Let Justin know if you submit an idea to the suggestions box and you don't hear back, follow him around the track and flash him until he responds. Travis Rose still getting repairs from earlier.
Yeah, 35-minute pit stop. I think he's done. There's Shea McNeely to Brian Coxon is 40 seconds, so it's extended 2 more seconds.
Ryan stopping lap 52. Shea lap 47 and Jason Wahlberg lap 45. As Shea starts lap 58 here. All the braking markers changing for these drivers as it gets darker. Shea's been consistent all night. No real hiccups. As far as we can tell, Shea and Justin Thaler with one off track. And it looks like Rick Bundren may have none yet. So most drivers have picking up a warning at least. Shea McNeely's last lap of 125.1. Jason Wahlberg coming across at 126.4 after his previous was under 125.1. Brian Coxon 125.6. CJ Barsack with a pit lap, looks like 157.9. So Shea McNeely's still setting the pace. Down 5 cars now. While Travis Rowe's team still works on his car. 20% of the field having to retire their equipment here after getting into some trouble. Again, with the narrowness of this track and the speed, it's super easy to put your car in a place where the team will have more wrenching to do than they have time. Shea McNeely's team not concerned with that. He's been putting in smooth, consistent lap after smooth, consistent lap.
Another near perfect race for Shea McNeely, including the purple lap. Coming up on Landon Sprinkle, second place. And GT4's 10 seconds behind the leader. So good on Landon.
Yeah, about one incident away from Chet Miller, who has kept the car on the road. Be a huge differentiator, especially in the GT4 class. Staying clean can really mean a significant amount of time saved against your opponents, even if they have faster pace. Looks like Jason Wahlberg is taking his final stop here for the final 10. Francis Faustino making his way out. So we'll see if Brian Coxon and Shea McNeely will need to take a fourth stop. CJ Barsak and Jason Wahlberg, Justin Thaler, Francis Faustino, Steve Hansel, Justin Glickner have all taken their fourth stop. David Stark, Jesse Coffey, Brian Coxon, and Shea McNeely all yet too. John Daniels just coming in for his fourth and final stop.
I'm pretty sure Coxon is good to go to the end on his fuel. He was running about half a second to 3/4 of a second slower than the leader, Shea McNeely. But he has jumped Jason Wahlberg, so moved Brian Coxon up to P2.
Yeah, I wasn't sure how much he might be able to overcut, but if he's taking 2 extra laps overcut over everybody over 3
Stops.
stints, yeah, I mean, he's working his way towards 6 extra laps, so that might be a significant amount of savings there if he's able to hold on to that.
We're inside 10 minutes to go. The race is winding down. You can see the darkness, all but full dark now. Very difficult visibility. Brian Coxon still seems to hit the racing line perfect. Super small steering inputs. Almost no correction.
Not long ago, Brian was maxing out his dorm room Wi-Fi and pushing his laptop to the limits. A new Brian Coxon has been unlocked with the power of a gaming PC.
Somebody set him free. Chip Miller has led since before the first pit stop and has not relinquished the lead since.
You can start to see the brake rotors glowing. Jesse Coffey makes his way through this pack of GT4 equipment.
Shea McNeely working his way through the GT4 traffic, one car at a time. The headlights kind of give you another indication of the speed at which the car behind is approaching, right, Adam? Have you had many multi-class races in the dark?
Yeah, I mean, you could definitely get a sense. I think that it's a little variable, I think, with people's performance levels on their computer, that I think one of the easiest things that you can cut is things like the headlights in your rear view and things like that. But most of these GT3 cars you can see here have the yellow amber headlight. Shea McNeely's machine does not. but that is one indicator where you can tell that, you know, somebody from a different class is coming up. But likely you have crew chief or, you know, your sim hub or some system telling you that a faster car is coming up, and you have ample time to know that you need to prepare to hold your line and let them through. Again, you know, we've seen it here, you know, the GT4 drivers, as they're getting more used to being the slower traffic, are really doing, I think, a much better job of holding their own lines and staying on their own racing lines and being predictable when they get out of the way on a straight or stay on the line, and just letting these GT3 cars with more downforce and more power out of the exit to just make their turns and make their passes on their own. So I think we're seeing a lot of growth and experience here in the GT4 class.
I like what I see. Francis Faustino working on Steve Hansel once again. But I got to admit, I know we were just following Shea McNeely and Brian Cox, and that gap is coming down. It was 2.5 when we started the discussion about the headlamps. And now it's 1.8. So that is Brian Coxon on full attack. We're still riding with Francis and Steve. Francis is pursuing, but we're on the next to last lap. And Brian Coxon, we're riding with us. Jay McNeely right in front, in his sights. Third car in line. Boom, the car with the white headlights in front is your leader. 1.7. It's going to be this lap and one more. I don't think there's enough time. Boy, it sure is close. For Brian Coxon to save a pit stop and jump Jason Wahlberg and CJ Barzak, I'd say we didn't see that coming. Although at the Nürburgring on the warm-up, Brian did a one-stop race also. His pace suffered for it, but back to 1.8, 1.9. Maybe it was traffic. Maybe Shea was playing conservative or just trying to give us something to watch. So I believe Barney's going to throw the white this time by, or maybe one more. 37.52.
Right at the last gasp, it looks like a few drivers have received black flags from race control.
Right. That could change things. We see cars coming through the drive-thru as we speak. Oh no, that's Ian Bakaitis. 59 and 25. David Stark. .5 the gap. Shea McNeely has Brian Coxon 1.3, but I believe this is going to be the final lap.
That'll be CJ Barzak, the other driver. Unfortunately, he has put together a solid race and kept his nose clean, but
Justin Thaler says, thank you very much. We'll see if we can get back. Maybe not. All right, after 100 minutes, CJ's on his way out. Where's JT? No, CJ's going to keep the spot. No harm, no foul. CJ, you got lucky there. Your race winner, GT3, coming through the final corner for the final time. Checkered flag. I think. I can't see Barney. It's too dark. No checker. All right, I don't see the checkered flag on the tower, so that means this is the final lap. He's got one more, but he's got 2.8 seconds. Brian Coxon was just psyching us out.
It looks like from lap 66 to lap 68, Brian closed the gap by about 7/10. Might not be enough time left, though, to make that final gap up.
It's back out now. 68.6. The final few corners. This time,
Yeah, Shea won't have any traffic to deal with here. He's through it all. Brian will have the traffic to navigate.
and a flat out run through a couple of winding S's. And Shea McNeely's going to go 2 for 2 to start this season off. Shea McNeely, checkered flag. It's official. 4 cars on the lead lap. Brian Coxon finished 3.3 seconds back.
Justin Thaler coming across ahead of John Daniels there. Chet Miller taking the AM win.
GT4s. Way to go, Chet. Great racing. All the GT4 drivers, everybody. Jason Wahlberg gets a podium along with Jason Geyer. Everybody's blinking their lights.
A lot of tired drivers here.
A couple of tired announcers. Do it. It's awesome. Wouldn't
Yeah.
have it any other way.
It was only single digits here in Chicago. I'm ready to go to bed and be warm.
See if Atlanta's shut down for a week. We had half an inch today.
Yeah, and snow in New Orleans, the crazy times here, but what's not a surprise, Shea McNeely putting in a strong win. Brian Coxon really getting closer probably than maybe even Shea McNeely thought. And that'll do it for your endurance race here at Zolder with the alternate layout. Shea McNeely took the pole, took the win. An unfortunate wreck on the front stretch for Johan DeRoy scuttled any chance that he had to challenge Shea McNeely for the lead. Brian Coxon, his overcut strategy across his pit stops brought him within 3 seconds at the end of the race, but that just wasn't enough. He was closing in 7/10 from the lap 66 to 68, but that just wasn't enough without more time on the clock. Jason Wahlberg had a strong run today all day long, able to come through in third. CJ Barsack with a late penalty drive-through, taking fourth, able to come out ahead of Justin Thaler. John Daniels in sixth. Jesse Coffey seventh. Steve Hansel eighth. Francis Fazzino ninth. Justin Gleckner 10th, and David Stark 11th. Travis Rowe's team wasn't able to get that car put back together and get back out on the track. That'll be 20th overall and 12th in class for Travis. Jameel Gummer also having to retire his car. 13th in class, 22nd overall. Johan DeRoy, unfortunately, after taking a huge slap against the wall. Hopefully he's okay. 14th in class, 25th overall. Chet Miller, strong win in the amateur division. Able to keep his car clean all day long. Once he took the lead, he didn't give it back. Landon Sprinkle was fast all day long, but got into some adventures. Jason Geyer in third. So Chet Miller, Landon Sprinkle, Jason Geyer, an all McLaren podium, and might be a fresh podium. This might be a fresh podium for everybody on there. Ron Kabilti's 16th or 15th. Sorry, is number 16. Ron, unfortunately, did end up backward a couple times, so that impacted his race. Rick Bundren kept a clean race going on the entire time, 5th in class. Ian Bakaitis 6th after a late drive-through. Justin Shoup 7th. Kyle Ryan 8th. Aaron Mitchell 9th, having to retire that car. Taylor Montague and Colin Huffman rounding out the AM division, also having to retire their machinery.
Well, after 100 minutes, the Midwest Motorsports Road Series Round 2 has a new winner for the first time, Chet Miller in the GT4 division. Hey, Chet, it's James and Adam in the booth. You got us?
Yeah.
Hey, congrats, man. You did it.
Thank you.
After second place last week and then a great qualifying today, put you in good position for some argy-bargy up in front of you. Tell us what you saw.
I was struggling out the gate. They were quite a bit quicker than me off the start. I was struggling getting the tires warmed up, and then I just was trying to keep it straight for as long as possible. And I saw them both go off, and I was like, now I just gotta keep it as straight as I can for the rest of the race. And I ran pretty clean. I think I only had one or two big mishaps where I got a little worried, but I just took a little pace off of it and just kind of cruised for as long as I could.
Yeah, great run. You ended up with almost 10 seconds. So double points for the endurance race. What are your goals for the season?
Goals, just hoping to bring home a couple more wins. That'd be great, but Landon and Ron are pretty quick, so it's gonna be tough doing that. But hopefully, I can just keep it consistent and pull on a couple more wins, finish on the podium a few more times.
Yeah, well, we hope so too. Adam, you got anything for your AM division winner?
No, great run, Chet. Great to see you just consistent, can be fast in these endurance races. It is all comes down to keeping the car on the road, and you're able to do that today. How did you feel your practice translated into this race as you mixed in with the GT3 classes?
It felt pretty good. I didn't actually end up hopping in any of the sessions with the other guys this week, so it was a little different. I didn't get much practice with the GT3s for this track, so it was a little worrisome in some of the corners where they're trying to take me, so it threw me off a couple times. But after a few laps of them passing me, I got kind of used to it and just made sure to give them plenty of room and was good to go from there.
Awesome, man. Well, way to keep it clean. Found your way right to the top of the podium. Those points will count. Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's your GT4 winner, Chet Miller. And now up to the GT3 winner, your overall race winner, Shay McNeely from the pole, 2 for 2 to start off the season. Shay, great racing, man. You put on another clinic.
Yeah, thank you. Brian, would you like to do the honors?
Roommate 1, 2, raw.
Rah! We did it again. But yeah, it was a fun race.
Did you see him coming? Did Brian say that he was going to try to do one less stop?
We actually were in call. He was like, I'm going to do this. I was like, all right, I'll see if I can run away. And it just barely worked out.
A lot closer than I thought. Adam, what you got for our GT3 winner?
Yeah. Can we clarify? Are you guys still actual dorm roommates, or is Brian living above you now?
We are roommates. He lives below me. Like
okay, great.
He lives below me like the scoundrel he is.
Yeah. Wow. The loser of the race sleeps in the basement at the home of Shay McNeely and Brian Coxon. Shay, great race, put it on the pole and never really looked back. Trouble for Johan de Roy really kind of scuttled any chance that he had to get up there and battle you. Very surprised how close Brian was able to get after the overcut. Did you think his overcut would be that close?
I think looking at the timetables of how long pits take off when you're in the stall and how long the pit lane is, because this track has you on pit limiter for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
I knew it was going to be close. I knew I had to get up to about 40-second gap before I could be quote unquote safe, but I didn't think it'd be that close right at the end. It really came down to traffic.
Yeah. Once you cleared through the traffic in the back, it really looked like it was game over for Brian, unfortunately, with the timer running out. Great run. Back to you, James.
Yeah, I just saw a lot of patience out there, Shay. You would come up on the GT4s pretty quick and then try to time your run on the exit of the chicanes. Is that a skill you just learned from experience, or uh, how did you how did you make it look so easy getting around the GT4?
You know, it's the GT4s are in this league. We have the benefit that we know how everybody kind of drives, so you know where you can overtake and where you can't. So that's part of it. The other part is just knowing closing distance. I've been the lower class driver, so to some extent, I know where it sucks to get overtaken, but also I know I get antsy. I think I had split between two GT4s at one point and made one of them drop back, unfortunately. But overall, it's just kind of a judgment call each time.
Yeah, right on. Good point. No stranger to an endurance racing. You ran the Daytona 24 just recently, and now another long one here at Midwest Motorsports. So thanks again for showing up and putting on another great show for us tonight, Shay. Congratulations on a great win. 2 for 2.
Thanks, you guys. Looking to do it again next week.
All right, there he is, laying down the gauntlet. You heard it here first. Shay McNeely is going to come back next week, go for the triple. Can it happen? We'll see. Until then, you're going to have to stay tuned to Midwest Motorsports. Friday Night Trucks, Sunday Cup, Midwest-Motorsports is where you can find us. Tuesday's the Road Series. Entries are free and always open. Adam, thanks again for all the great camera work, the great camera changes. The broadcast ran flawless tonight. Thank you, sir. Any closing words?
No, I think that, we are once again seeing the talent here that people have developed and the consistency. Had a couple drivers missing this week, so hopefully we'll get them back next week and see if we can get Shay a challenge here.
That's right. Until then, we'll look for you next week, Tuesday night at 7 p.m., where we'll do it again, this time only 60 minutes, as we go to the Red Bull Ring in Austria for a 60-minute race. Until then, I'm James Shea for all the Midwest Motorsports admins, reminding you to stay in your lane.
And I approve of this message.